Hey guys, welcome back. Today I am working on a 2010 Toyota Corolla. I am removing the ball joint. I was having some issues and sounds coming from it, so it's getting replaced today. Underneath you have two nuts and a bolt that you will remove. They are 17 millimeters. I pulled out the cotter pin from this castle nut right here. You will probably need a 19 millimeter wrench like this just to break that loose and get that off. Now, a tool that I really recommend for this type of job, as opposed to using a pickle fork or something to break this ball joint loose from the wheel itself, I do recommend this right here. This is a ball joint popper breaker, and the way that works is this top portion will rest on the top of the screw here, and the fork itself goes into this rubber section here at the bottom. And as you screw in this bottom screw here on the tool, it creates pressure, which will then pop the ball joint down and out. So I'm actually gonna get that started. Now, I found on the other side, the easiest way to get to it is from the front of the vehicle, and you kind of gently force that tool in, since there is a little bit more room from this side. Just like so. A little bit of effort, there we go. And just dial that down so we get a snug fit. And then I'll get out the wrench to tighten that down even further and pop that loose. Now, I do recommend getting some hearing protection for this part, as when this pops loose, it's going to be pretty dang loud. I'll go grab that right now. That looks like this tool uses a 19 millimeter socket. There we go. And that broke that loose. So now I'll just loosen the tool and slide that out. So now that that is separated from this housing here, there we go. So now that that is out, there's bottom two free there. Now we'll take the new piece. Now, a couple pointers for you. You might choose to use the original nuts and bolt as opposed to what came with this new ball joint, simply because sometimes the aftermarket parts are just a little bit subpar, not as high quality. Right. Okay, I'm actually gonna put this in first. And let's slide that around. There we go. So obviously, even from one side to the next, you can find some techniques that work better the second time around, and sometimes there's techniques that you thought you do that you attempt again and doesn't always work out. But hopefully, nevertheless, this should provide a visual aid if you do choose to attempt this on your own, because honestly this is a relatively simple job. You'll spend probably $20 to $30 on the part itself, and then that ball joint tools just from Harbor Freight, and that was I think 15 to 20, somewhere in that range. I'll post the exact price in the comments section. But you'll just take your fresh cotter pin and castle nut and put those back in place. Now, when you are tightening this castle nut down, it is important to first find where that pin is going to go. And this happens to be horizontal, which is nice. Runs with the car. And when you tighten it down, never back it off to be able to align that pin through. If that makes sense, you always want to carry it just a little bit more forward. So you'll always tighten down clockwise, never counterclockwise, just to slip that pin in. So I will use that wrench to buckle that down a little tighter now. Now, unfortunately, the way this is, you do need a wrench because you can't fit a socket in between there. And since the screw is tapered, you shouldn't have any spinning or issues like that. Now, I've seen a huge range on how hard you should torque this down. I've seen anything from 35 to 70 foot-pounds. I just put it as tight as I can, and then I try and get that extra break in the castle nut so I can put that cotter pin through. Because though that pin will help hold that in place, the nut itself obviously is doing the work of keeping the parts together. So now I'll thread that pin through just like so. I'll take my pliers and bend those, that way it's all held in place. Now I know this was kind of a clunky video, bumping into things and struggling with things, but hopefully that gives you a couple pointers on where to get started if you choose to do this on your own. So thanks again for watching my content. I do appreciate it. Helps me get closer to the goal of making some money on YouTube. I think that would be a fun aspiration. So thanks again. Subscribe if you'd like to, and enjoy your day.